Good morning. Happy Tuesday. T and I like to watch a little bit of TV before we go to bed at night. And last night, her favorite movie was on, The Blind Side, the true story of Michael Orr, kid from the projects who ends up living with and getting adopted by a fairly well-off family, goes off to college and ends up playing in the pros. And Michael actually was an all-star in the pros and on his way to being one of the great offensive tackles of all time before he had concussion problems. There's a scene in the movie where Leanne Toohey, played by Sandra Bullock, goes and visits Michael Orr's biological mother because even though Michael is a ward of the state, she wants permission from his mom before they take guardianship of Michael. And Michael's mom had a series of, drug use, drug arrests, periods of time in prison, multiple children, maybe a dozen, and doesn't know their locations. Kids taken away. She's living in, not the greatest place, and she's not in the greatest shape. So there's this moment where Leanne is trying to get information so that they can do the guardianship. And she asks the mom, what is Michael's last name? We can't find him in the system. And his mom gives her a name. And then a couple of minutes later, his mom realizes that it was the wrong name. And she gives Leanne Toohey the right name of her child, and then mom starts to cry and realizes that there's this moment where she realizes where her life has gone. And she says, I can't even give you my own child's correct name. I can't even remember who his father was. And Leanne says to her, do you want to see Michael? I can bring him over here, because she hasn't seen him since he was a little boy. And she says, no, not like this, no. There's two types of pains. There's the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. And discipline weighs ounces and regret weighs tons. What can happen in life is we end up in this stream in a boat with no oars, and we just kind of go along because it's the easy way to go. And before we know it, we're 10 feet from a waterfall, and then we decide, oh my goodness, I wish I woulda, I wish I shoulda. And, Les Brown talks about that if you want your life to be easy, you got to do the things that are hard. And if you want your life to be hard, then only do the things that are easy. The outcome is, at the end of the day, you don't want to have those massive regrets. Things are not always going to go as planned. There's going to be things where you look back and go, why did I ever do that? How come I didn't do this? How come I didn't do that? But we know what the things are that you need to do in order to be successful. You got to get up early in the morning. You don't have to always, not every successful person gets up early in the morning, but there's habits that are always there. Successful people make the phone calls, they follow through, they get the things done, they use the resources that are around them, they exercise the discipline, they take care of themselves. There's certain patterns. When I used to be in registration at Tony Robbins events, the people that came in at the different levels of registration, there was patterns. There was patterns in their life between, the general admission ticket and the VIP ticket and the diamond ticket and the platinum ticket. And you got to a point where when somebody came walking up to you, you could tell where they were on that scale. And not every aspect of the people was good, by the way. Some of the aspects were characteristics that were not necessarily all of that great. But there were certain characteristics that were similar with those that were sitting closest to the stage. You could tell how they maintained their bodies. You could tell the drive and focus that they had in terms of what was going to happen at this particular event. You can tell the organization they had. You could tell how busy they were. And it was interesting how as you got up the ladder, when you got just below the top of the ladder, those people tended to be not very courteous. But when you got to the top of the ladder, they were the most courteous people of everybody there. They're the ones that didn't have to show anything to anybody. They didn't have to impress. They were centered in terms of who they are and what they've done with their life and where their life was going. And you would occasionally see that in a general admission ticket. You could see somebody that's where they were already in that place. But for a lot of people coming in the general admission ticket, that's what they were looking for. And that's what they were really looking for is this centeredness, that they knew where they were going to go with their life, that their life had a plan, that it had a mission, whatever that was. And at the end of the day, when they were going to transition into the next phase, they were going to have done the things that they came here to do. 2 types of pains: pain of discipline, pain of regret. Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. Don't have regrets. Do the things that need to be done. Do what you got to do so then you can do what you want to do. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.